Welcome to the 2017 BRSCC Fiesta Junior Championship. We're here at Croft circuit in North Yorkshire, and as you can see, the heavens have absolutely opened. It was wet for qualifying and it's wet for the race, and behind me all the teams and drivers are frantically changing tyres and setup for the first race. Jack Davidson and James Hillary are on the front row of the grid, and with the wet conditions it should be absolutely fascinating. So over to Richard John Neal, and Richard, it's going to be soaking wet.
You're not wrong, mate. It is absolutely soaking, tricky out there, with Jack Davidson and James Hillary on the front rank, James Waite and Josh Hislop on row 2 from Matt Greenwood and Nicholas Reeve, Scott Cansdale and Magnus Cricklevy on row 4, row 5 completing the grid, Jamie Lee Hawley and Oliver Turner. Round 13 of the championship about to get underway, a penultimate meeting of the season here at Yorkshire, the first time that the Fiesta Juniors have raced here at Croft Circuit, so it's a level playing field for everybody, and the tricky conditions are going to test the drivers to the limit. We're on board with row 3 outside man Nick Reeve, and Nick goes to the outside line, Josh Hislop to his inside in black, white and green, and Hislop challenging for second round the outside line of James Hillary. Jack Davidson the leader through Clervaux. Hillary annexes second place. Hislop, that was a good attempt from him to look round the outside, brave stuff. Wide line from Davidson, that opens up the door, and James Hillary slots through into the lead. So it's Hillary in front, championship leader Jack Davidson in second, Josh Hislop in third. So a brace of young Scots, second and third, both of them no doubt looking to emulate Gordon Shedden as touring car drivers at some point, and also Aidan Moffat, who came through this particular championship as well when Flash was a teenager. I don't think that junior car championships had even been thought of, not even T-cars at that stage, which incidentally was the original car racing junior championship, and again an innovation by the BRSCC, the British Racing and Sports Car Club, who organise Fiesta Junior racing. The young Englishmen are going to be looking to emulate the likes of Ash Sutton, who came through this not through juniors, but did come through the senior version of the championship as well. So very strong ties between the junior and senior Fiesta championships with the British Touring Car Championship as well. So it's James Hillary out front, Jack Davidson the championship leader second. There is Josh Hislop up ahead of Nick Reeve. Hislop's best result so far, a third position, podium finish for him at Snetterton circuit back in July, round 9, and he wants to better that, and he's looking for second place here with a good run on the inside line of Jack Davidson, but slots back in. We know he's quick round the outside at Clervaux because off the start he was challenging for that second place, and it's still Davidson in second, and the race leader is still James Hillary. Hillary is third in the championship and still there at the moment in the race lead, with Jack Davidson in second. The gap championship wise, Jack Davidson 32 points clear on James Waite, who qualified third on the grid but finds himself down in 5th place at the moment. This really good footage here from Josh Hislop challenging the second place car out of the chicane and down towards Tower. Hislop again comes out of the spray, has a look, doesn't seem phased at the minute by Nick Reeve, the Essex driver, Romford-based youngster, joined the championship on the 15th of May last year. Difficult championship to maintain numbers in because you've only got the drivers, as we've said before, in the championship. Oh, a little bit of drifting there from Jack Davidson, but holds on to it. The championship leader got a little bit of a lead over Josh Hislop at the moment. Championship-wise, you can join the championship at age 14. And you can race through to the age of 17, so potentially 3 years. But in essence, most drivers, a lot of drivers look at moving on to senior formula at the age of 16. So for the organisers, it's difficult to maintain a flow of newcomers into the championship for just 2 years. It means you're constantly having to rebuild. Of course, once you get into senior formula, you can race from 16 up to goodness knows what, presumably into your 70s or maybe even later if you're able to do it. So the age catchment for senior championships is much, much bigger. Junior championships, by definition, will always, I think, have smaller entries than junior championships. as the race leader. James Hillary comes down into Clervaux once again, with Jack Davidson in second. Josh Hislop is third. There they go, heading down into Hawthorne. Reeve is next up from James Waite. And let's watch the leaders go. Now, we've lost the leader because I can't see James Hillary. We've got a green flag there being waved at the chicane, so I'm assuming that Hillary has gone off the track maybe. But the new leader is Jack Davidson. Look, clear track ahead of Davidson in blue and white. Josh Hislop up to second. Nick Reeve is third. And then it is James Waite. So what's happened to the race leader? He's disappeared. Maybe we'll get a replay from one of the onboards to show what happened as the race leaders head through the Jim Clark S's and then down to Croft and sunny in, sunny out. It's a great technical circuit, this one. And as I mentioned earlier on, the first visit of this championship to this circuit. So the BRSCC varying the circuits that these youngsters can come to. We've only got one more event left on this year's calendar after this weekend, 15th of October weekend at Donington Park on the national circuit for the finale of this year's championship. Is Jack Davidson going to hang on to it? He's in the lead once again, but Josh Hislop, we've seen run him close so far this year. In terms of lap times, the qualifying lap by Jack Davidson, shade under 75 miles per hour. He was 1.4 seconds clear of James Hillary in qualifying. Now, Hillary having disappeared, which is a shame for our race. Hillary, remember, the driver who won the first race of the year at Brands Hatch, backed that up with third place in race number 2. The graphic showing you 11 laps for this race. That's what we expect in the race time. The BRSCC allocate 20 minutes for these races so that we get track time rather than a set number of laps. But it will give you an indication of how far we are through the race as Josh Hislop continues to chase. Josh's best result, third so far, and on to improve that once again. Josh, one of this year's arrivals in the championship, and if he comes back next year, could well be fancied to take the overall championship. So it's a Scottish 1-2 at the moment. Davidson from Hislop going down through the Jim Clark S's. Third position is Nick Reeve, and then a gaggle of cars behind them. Plenty of runoff here on most of the areas, a lot of it going into the crops if you have a big off, but we haven't seen any big off so far. The drivers really showing us some super driving standards, and you'll see in our sister program for the Senior Fiesta some great driving in that as well, again despite very difficult conditions here at Croft Circuit this weekend. But Jack Davidson, having secured a 7th career pole position in the championship, he is a quick young Scot, so it looks like we might get another quick Scot in touring cars in a few years, if that is the route that he goes in. So Davidson well clear. Look at the lead that he's developed now, and on to lap 11. This is going to be on the clock, the last lap of the race. Josh Hislop still second. It's going to grab his best. It's going to be a 12th podium, career podium for Nick Reeve, I think, in third place. But Davidson will extend the championship lead again. He only drops 1 point. He's had a couple of DNFs, but one of those DNFs had a fastest lap with it, which is a single point, which currently he will drop in the championship, part of the drop scores. And drop scores keep things tight, you know, where you've got 16 races. The H.J. Burgoyne backed car looking very good. Davidson again driving superbly here and looking for yet another win, 7th career win. I think this is his 27th career start in the Formula as well. So along with James Hillary, started on the front rank, they're the two most experienced drivers of Fiesta Junior Racing, and clearly that is showing. But we've seen some good racecraft from all the youngsters as well. Davidson's got his head down, pulled away, and coming up towards the complex for the last time. The gap is around about 6 seconds to the second place car of Josh Hislop, who again, I remind you, is going to record his best finish in the championship to date. Another
podium, but a Scottish one too. The salt tyres are going to be waved furiously here for sure. Davidson on the brakes, rolls off the brakes now into the hairpin, and he's just got a short run down the straight towards the checkered flag. Championship leader Jack Davidson is going to grab another win in the BRSCC Fiesta Junior Championship, and it comes here in round 13 at Croft. There's the checker. Josh Hislop will take second position from Nick Reeve. Scott Cansdale is in fourth. James Hillary recovering and takes fifth place. Jamie Lee Hawley is sixth from Ollie Turner. We had a number of retirements in that race, sadly, as we watched Jack Davidson going through. Here is the results, confirmed as I called them across the line, with non-finishes for Matt Greenwood and Magnus Cricklevy and an exclusion for James Waite.
Jack, another race win for you in Fiesta Juniors, and in very tricky conditions as well.
Yeah, definitely. The start wasn't as what we wanted. The initial start was off the line was pretty good. First corner was in the lead still. Going through the second corner, just the back went all loose and just had to correct it. Caught it, and but by that time James had got him inside. So after that, I just had to keep pushing the whole time. And he made a mistake, and capitalised on that, and just had to keep pushing for the rest of the race.
Josh, it's your second podium of the season, and that must have been very tricky out there with the conditions.
Yeah, it was quite changeable every lap. It was a different condition at each corner, so just had to manage the gap really and not make any mistakes.
And how was it trying to chase down and keep up with Jack out there?
It was tricky. He was really quick. At the start of the race I tried to have we go into the hairpin, but yeah, he was just really quick today.
Well, Nick, great to have you back on the podium, and a hard-fought third place, but again, conditions were less than favourable.
Yeah, it was a bit difficult, coming off the back foot, making my way through a couple of people first, but it was good fun. I enjoyed it. It still went better than Silverstone, so I've got to take some positives out of it and move on to the next race and see how that goes.
It's time for the second race of the weekend for the Fiesta Juniors at Croft, and thankfully the weather conditions are a little bit better this time. There's not a mad dash under a rain shower for changing tyres and setup. It's going to be Jack Davidson on pole once again, Josh Hislop alongside him on the front row, and here's Richard John Neal with the full lineup for race 2.
Thank you, Scott. Davidson and Hislop, as you said, on the front row of the grid. Nick Reeve and Scott Cansdale on row 2. James Hillary with Jamie Lee Hawley on row 3. Then it's Ollie Turner and Matthew Greenwood, Magnus Cricklevy and James Waite completing our 10-car lineup. The anti-penultimate race of this year's championship. Round 14 about to get underway. Green flag from the back of the field. Conditions looking slightly better. On board with Josh Hislop from the outside of the front row. He looked very much at home on the outside line in race number 1. Jack Davidson gets away well, and Hislop losing out just a little bit. So it's Jack Davidson who leads this one. Nick Reeve looking on the inside line to annex that second position, and Hislop recovers well and runs a little bit wide, carries a fair bit of momentum into Clervaux, but hangs on to it. James Hillary immediately behind him. So all in all, pretty good start. And it's the championship leader looking to build further on his championship lead, with Nicholas Reeve looking very close in this one. So Reeve looking closer in these early stages. You can see the clouds still threatening, but conditions by and large a little bit better. Slightly defensive into Tower the first time by the championship leader. There is Matt Greenwood in the 25 car. Matt with a retirement, sadly, in race number 1, but looking to bag some decent championship points here to move him further up in the top 6 of the standings. Josh Hislop will be threatening him championship-wise now, and Hislop really punished on drop scores as through on the inside. Jamie Lee Hawley having a look at the inside line there, side by side with Matt Greenwood, and goes through. Super move by Jamie Lee Hawley to go through on the inside. Now the young lady from Woodwiss proving some good racecraft there, and it's tight for second place, and Scott Cansdale takes a gyration after a bit of contact there with Nicholas Reeve. He's going to rejoin Scott Cansdale. The number 6 car, remember, was a race winner at Rockingham earlier on in the year, has had fastest laps as well. He's, undoubtedly has the pace. Cansdale rejoins as the cars go on to lap 2. So Davidson out front from Nick Reeve at the moment. Jack Davidson, as we said in race number 1, has had 2 retirements so far this year, one of which had a fastest lap going with it, so therefore he drops that point because you drop your lowest 2 scores. The most consistent point scorer so far this year has been Josh Hislop, who has finished all of his races and scored points in all of them, but conversely for that gets punished because he has 2 drop scores, whereas most of the other drivers will only drop 1. So Hislop, quick and consistent, and what a battle we've got on for the lead here with Davidson and Nick Reeve in the 12 car. Nick's had 2 retirements and a non-start in the second race at Silverstone, so he won't drop any scores at all, and Reeve up into 3rd place in the championship standings now, and all over the back at the moment of the 21 car. So Reeve piling the pressure on the Scotsman at the minute, and Jack Davidson, this is great, this is exactly what we want to see, a little bit of racing for the lead between these 2 youngsters. Reeve, of course, who also joined in 2016, and looking at the outside line here, lights ablaze. I'm not sure what sort of effect that has, but it will just, if nothing else, let Davidson know that he's there. But I'm sure he'll see the orange car looming wide in his mirrors and tries to look up the inside line, and Reeve still piling the pressure on. But Davidson, you've got to say, not defensive at all going into the hairpin. Davidson very much focusing on racing line there going into the complex. You can see him having a quick look in his mirror at the number 12 car immediately behind him. So we come down the main straight again and on to lap 3. Initially a look round the outside for Reeve, who dives up the inside line now and under braking goes through into Clervaux. Great move by Nick Reeve, sold him a dummy going along the straight, then dive to the inside line. Great piece of racing between the 2, and the Scot is down to 2nd position now. So Jack Davidson, the championship leader, and Nick Reeve, who's looking to try and haul himself further up the table here, was in 4th position. So Davidson, has he got an answer? Davidson also picked up a point for fastest lap in race number 1, and with the qualifying time, but he's under pressure. James Hillary passes him. James Hillary going past as well now. Deja vu for Hillary, remember, passed him on the opening lap of race number 1 to take 2nd position. We've got Josh Hislop in the mix as well, and maybe the championship leader's car not performing as he would like. He does not seem as sharp as he did in race number 1 for sure. He's down in 3rd place, Jack Davidson. Not a huge problem. His lowest finish of the year so far, 4th place at Cadwell Park. He has had, as we said, a couple of retirements, but he's still there in 3rd position at the moment, and we'll see whether he can hold on to those championship points in 3rd place. Matt Greenwood in 25 racing hard as well and chasing Josh Hislop, so good battle going on between those 2. Here's the view from Josh. Such as it is, you can see it is difficult to see if the wipers aren't doing their job. Not enough rain or spray around to allow the wipers to clear the screen, so it is difficult for him. We'll see what Josh can do about the championship leader, who's very definitely got momentum, looks to the outside line and goes through. Now, that was a great pass by Hislop, but we would surmise that Davidson, I reckon he's got a problem, because he's not as, you wouldn't normally expect to be passed that easily, and Matt Greenwood will be looking at what Hislop's just done and try to do the same thing. Scott Cansdale in blue is in behind as well, having recovered very well indeed, Cansdale. Here's the race leader, Nick Reeve, who is pulling clear. James Hillary in 2nd place in car number 4, looking to add another podium to his collection, and now Greenwood is through as well. So Greenwood past the championship leader, who's dropping back down the order, and Scott Cansdale is going to nip through as well. Cansdale's got the fastest lap of the race instead on lap 2, 74.08 miles per hour. He goes through, and Jack Davidson not looking comfortable at all. A little flash of the lights there from Cansdale, who wants Matt Greenwood, the Yorkshireman, to get a little bit of a move on. Cansdale joined the championship at the end of last year at Brands Hatch, just 1 round prior to Matthew Greenwood, who joined on the 9th of April this year. We had a big intake of drivers this year into the championship, and we hope and probably expect a good number of young karters or maybe even drivers indeed who haven't raced anything before coming into this formula, because it is possible to do that once you get to age 14, to come in and learn your crafting. This is a proven formula now, the Junior Fiesta Championship, for drivers to come in, and you can work your way from here. You can use the same car in the Junior Formula as well if you want. So on to the last lap, and we've got a great dice developing here with Scott Cansdale, and that's Matthew Greenwood in the 25 car. Nick Reeves still in front, and he's got a lead over James Hillary at the moment, so Greenwood's going to have a look at the inside line here of Scott Cansdale. Then we've got Jamie Lee Hawley in behind as well, the orange 39 car, and Jamie Lee picking up her best finish of her season and indeed career in race number 1 with 6th place, which she's going to mirror here by the looks of it. So Cansdale with the fastest lap. This in track position is going to place him 5th in the championship, so he's actually going to move up a place in the championship standings as a result. Jack Davidson will continue to lead the championship, but this man, the race leader, Nick Reeve, is on 315 points if he gets it to the flag, and that's without fastest lap, and he'll go up to 3rd position in the standings. In fact, no, joint 2nd with James Hillary by my maths, so it's going to be a tie for 2nd going into the last round. Jack Davidson has retired from the race, incidentally, and the gap now is just 20 points between Davidson, Hillary and Reeve, tied for 2nd, and this is Nick Reeve, the Romford-based youngster who looks like he's going to grab a 4th win of the season, 5th career win for Nick Reeve. And what a weekend it's been for him to move up to joint 2nd in the championship. Goes across the line now to the delight of the pit wall. There it is, Nick Reeve takes the win. James Hillary is next with Josh Hislop again on the podium. 2 podia for him. In 3rd place, James Waite will take 4th place with Scott Cansdale 5th with fastest lap. It's confirmation of the result. Jamie Lee Hawley gets 6th position with Magnus Cricklevy in 7th. Non-finishes Matt Greenwood, Ollie Turner and Jack Davidson.
Well, Nick, I have to say, I think in race 2 that was a very crucial victory, especially keeping you in the top 3.
I mean, yeah, I was going around and I knew I had to make the move on Jack as soon as possible because keep the other guys behind me. But as soon as I made that, I kept my head down, consistent all the way, and it was great.
James, a very hard-fought 2nd place. A bit of an issue off in race 1, but we'll look over that and the fact that you had to defend like hell for that one.
Yeah, the rain definitely helped for us this weekend. We obviously qualified 2nd in the wet. Shame about the first race, obviously hitting the wall, but we made mistakes. But the 2nd race, yeah, I attempted to make a move for Nick, try and chase him down. It didn't work out, and Josh obviously was catching me up before, and a few laps before the end I managed to pull away from him and take the 2nd place.
Yeah, that one was a bit more difficult than the first race. We went for dry tyres on the front, and I think everybody else was on wets, so I was quicker in some bits, slower in others because of that. Then a couple laps before then, my brakes started not really working, so it was a difficult race, but I'm glad I held on to 3rd.
And what it means now is that the juniors now head across to Donington for the final 2 races of the season. Someone's going to have to leave as Fiesta Junior Champion. The question now is, thanks to Jack Davidson's retirement, will it be him or will someone else steal his thunder? Join us at Donington next time to find out for the FJC season finale for 2017.